But we are actually talking about something really important today, severe weather coming our way for Monday. So why don't you break that down for us, Britt?
Yeah, I know sometimes it's unnatural sometimes for our team. We like to talk about this like 4 days in advance, but I feel like since it's Friday and Monday, I wouldn't want someone to like watch today and then be like, oh, the weekend, not pay attention. Yeah,
by
and then
Sunday
it's Monday
you kind of
morning.
forget it's happening. So it's good to warn now.
Yeah, so we are going to have updates, of course, throughout the weekend. A great idea I know we say this all the time, but to download our WCNC Charlotte mobile app. If you're watching this, you're on WCNC Plus already. But the time intensity of these storms are going to trim, kind of slim, thin down, however you want to say it, over the weekend. So it's really important that you have those ways to get alerts now throughout the rest of the weekend. So first things first, I actually do want to talk about the fact that today's weather is gorgeous because we can't not forget about that. Today, much cooler behind yesterday's frontal boundary that did bring us those strong storms yesterday morning. Spring is back. We have sunshine, temperatures in the mid-60s. And then this weekend, it is going to be really nice. In fact, especially Saturday is the pick of the week, in my opinion. Now, I do tend to also like a little bit cooler, so today's pretty good, but I would say today is maybe pick number 2. High pressure overhead behind yesterday's cold front. It's what's keeping us calm. But as we approach the second half of the weekend, things are going to take a turn. Saturday, again, mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid-70s. But Sunday, we're in the mid-70s again, but that's when we start to see some of those scattered showers return. Now, the Sunday event is actually not really related to Monday, which I'll show you in future casts, but just know the warmth and moisture that we see Sunday kind of sets us up for a more scattered pattern as we get closer to Monday morning and again, early afternoon. So there's Friday, nice and dry. Saturday, nice and dry. But notice what changes as we get closer to Sunday morning. We have warmth and moisture that's actually streaming in due to a low pressure center near the coast. So this will be near the Carolina coast and offshore, which means there is a scattered shower potential for them too. Thankfully, it does look like we're stable enough to not see storms Sunday afternoon, but a few showers will be possible. Notice especially by 4, 5, 6 o'clock. That's why I have that 30% chance for scattered rain in the afternoon. Again, it's just an afternoon event, but we will see more clouds to kick off Sunday morning. That clears out for the most part by Monday evening, and then we kind of shift our sights on what's happening to the north and west. So warmth and moisture first Sunday afternoon from the coast, then we have that north and west system moving in. Here's Monday. This is as far out as our in-house model will go, but here's 8 a.m. You can see early showers and storms around 7 or 8 a.m., but notice if you're still looking off toward Bristol, Tennessee, Morristown, that is where we have that main line. It's that line off to the north and west that we'll be watching for that chance for severe storms. So again, timing will thin out over the next few days, but I want you to be prepared now for about 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. If that shifts later, that means a higher risk of severe storms because we'll have more warmth and instability. If it shifts earlier or we have too much stable air from the rain on Sunday, that's fantastic. Exact impacts are likely going to be highest winds, as they often are here in the Carolinas. 90% of our wind damage comes from severe storms, from winds from severe storms. Hail is second, tornado is actually third. But there is always an isolated risk, low risk for isolated hail up to an inch and a quick spin up this time of year. We're shifting into that severe weather season, so it's really unlikely that we have an event where there's no risk for hail or a quick spin up tornado. So wind number 1, that's number 2 and number 3 respectively, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will continue to fine tune the forecast over the next few days. Something else that people oftentimes don't know about meteorology is that when we forecast this far ahead, we know that there is that chance for severe storms. We know what the impacts likely are just based on, history and what we normally get in the Carolinas. But oftentimes it becomes more of what we call a nowcasting situation where 24 hours out, 12 hours out, we actually watch how the storm evolves. So let's say it would be impacting Atlanta or impacting Birmingham. We'll watch what kind of impacts they're getting to see how that evolves for us. So a lot of it is historical, specific knowledge based on where we live and what we normally get and all these XYZ scenarios. But then when it gets into that short-term nowcasting setup about 24 hours out, that's when we really start to be able to fine-tune that information. So that's a really good reason why, like Carlene mentioned, sometimes it's Sunday, you forget. We don't want you to get caught off guard, especially the first day of the work week. So here's Sunday evening. There's Monday morning. This is a wider view of a long-range forecast model, so it's not quite as accurate as our in-house. But here's 9 a.m. There's those storms ahead of the main line in Charlotte. The line's right over us, 11, 12, 3, 4, 5. So again, late morning, early afternoon, probably not impacting your morning commute if it stays on its current time frame, but would impact the lunch rush and evening commutes, of course, as they often do. And if you are someone who was impacted by strong to severe storms yesterday and you had that wind damage, expect similar wind damage. We normally get Tree damage, widespread power outages from winds around 60 miles an hour. Yesterday, some of those did reach that criteria. A lot of them were 50. But we also are in that time of year where we have those Bradford trees, which are very, very thin trees that actually can fall over a little bit easier. So we're more likely to see some of those downed trees if that's the type you have in your yard. Behind the cold front Monday, talk about a cold front. Tuesday and Wednesday, we're dropping down into the 30s and upper 20s for lows. Remember, there's a reason why we talk about not planting until after tax day. It's because we still get frosts and freezes here in the Carolinas well into the month of April. In fact, we've had them all the way toward Memorial Day before in historic, history, back in the record books. Probably not 2026, but hey, you never know. So here's that 7-day forecast. There's a lot of information on here. Carolina Ascent, checkers are today. It's cooler, but it's nice. Tomorrow, checkers, FC are at home. It's cooler and it's warmer. Showers, very, very low in risk there of Sunday afternoon. And then again, Monday's the big day, late morning, early afternoon. And then check that out. If you're going out for St. Patrick's Day at any point on the 17th, you have to add a jacket to whatever cute green outfit you're putting together. We're back normal by this time next week. You know what you just reminded me of? Do you remember that one time? Carlene, obviously you weren't in the studio at 4 o'clock, but I'm sure you remember.
Oh, God.
When Jane went, brr! We were like, you sound like an elephant.
What are we doing, Jane?
But she's always cold.
Yeah, she's always cold.
well,
but it was
same.
so dramatic, and she did it like on air instead
It
of
was
like behind
funny,
the scenes when we joke in between the show. And Meg and I were like,
What just happened?
That's Jane.
It is Jane.
I love her.
We love Jane. And we love you, Brittany. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
Britt.
for that update. We really appreciate you. I know you're busy today, so.
I'll see you again in like an hour, hour and a half.
Okay, awesome.